Try it.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Carol Himelhoch from Himelhoch Department Store at himelhoch.com. It's my pleasure to be here today with Stewart Thomson of Earthdream Studio. Stewart is somebody who we have recently partnered with, and he has this exquisite line of his beautiful artistic creations, and I am not going to say too much about what he's done because it's always so wonderful to hear from the source. Stewart went to Cranbrook schools where we both attended Cranbrook schools, and so Stewart has a background in the area here, and it's just so wonderful. Stewart, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me, and it's great to be back after so many years. Truly.
So Stewart, if we see these beautiful creations, and you're such an artist, and everything that you create is a unique work of art. But that's not how you started your career.
That is true. I initially had my first metalsmithing course at Cranbrook at the girls' school, and I was 16 years old and fell in love with the whole idea of pushing metal around and making it do what you want for design. And then, of course, went off to college and ended up in a business career with all numbers. And after 20 years of that, just decided I wanted to use my creativity, and I built a studio and started designing and making commissioned pieces, and that was 18 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. Very successful, lots of creativity. The numbers are still with me, but they're kind of packed in the back because I have found such great materials to work with. I mean, what comes out of the earth, nature is just unbelievable, and it spurs me to come up with designs that are unique, one of a kind, and I'm happy to share them.
Well, we're really excited to have you share your creations with us. It is funny, we were at lunch just before this, and we were talking about the notion of creativity, and I just attended a couple of days ago a seminar that talked about creativity, and I think it's interesting that here you were in doing all this high-level investment type of work, and you're a numbers person, but the fact that you've had that numbers background and then this artistic background, and they seem so like they're polar opposites, but the research on creativity says that that's not unusual, and that when you have these two divergent areas, they come together, and that's part of what's behind some of the most creative individuals.
I agree. I think that my curiosity with the materials, where they're coming from in the ground, how they've been created, has piqued a whole nother part of my brain, because these aren't things that I ever knew existed, and the beauty of them has flowed into my creativity, and we'll get to it in a minute, and you'll see everything has a story. And when a woman wears one of these pieces and she has the design on her, someone comments on it and she shares that story, it becomes so personal and so intriguing to others that I have to be honest, the 18 years that I've been doing this, it is all word of mouth. I haven't sold through galleries, I haven't sold online, and it's all been someone saying something at a cocktail party or someone saying something on a weekend guest and commenting, and you end up with a new customer, a new client. I had one woman call me on the phone and she said, I was just in Italy, and the woman across from me every morning showed up with different earrings on, and she told me you made all of them. And she immediately wanted to be shown what I had, and I ended up making 4 pairs of earrings for her to choose from. And she couldn't decide. She took all 4.
She took all of them. I don't blame her.
So it was wonderful. She said, well, I'll give one to my daughter and one to my daughter-in-law, and then I'm going to keep 2 pair for myself.
Yeah, well.
So
yeah.
it's a compelling story. The materials, the designs, it's kind of how I give attention to people, and it's really worked.
And your connection to nature and bringing that into your pieces. I mean, How does that even work? You just see something and it inspires you, and it just takes on a life of its own.
It does. It does. When I attend the GEM show in Tucson every year, and I have for 18 years, and when I walk down the aisles and I look from right to left, there's so much there. There are 46 different shows, and each show kind of focuses on different materials. So if you're there for 5 days, there's no way you can go to all these shows and see all the vendors and everything. And I have my certain vendors that I really like that I always visit. But when you walk down an aisle, you look from side to side, side to side. I have a rule that if I look at something and it catches my eye, within 10 seconds, I have to know what I'm going to do with it.
Really?
Otherwise, I'm buying it for myself. Because I like it, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it that will appeal to someone else.
That's fascinating.
Well, I kind of learned the hard way. I had to do that because I have things in my collection that, even though they're beautiful to me, I can come up with the right design.
Wow. But the fact that you can have this vision of an end piece, that at the moment you see something, that's
it's a knee-jerk reaction, and it has really worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, my gosh. And I know that everything that you've created, whether it be a piece of jewelry, a photograph, a scarf, has a story behind it. And we're fortunate enough that Stewart has come to our meeting today with some samples. So I'm wondering if you could give us a tour.
I'm going to start with the easy one.
Okay.
I'm currently living in the Southwest in Flagstaff, Arizona. And I have, unlike anybody else, fallen in love with turquoise. It is an amazing stone because it is the variations from mine to mine, from geologic location, the variations are incredible. You are wearing one of the more brilliant colored natural turquoise cabochons that I have seen recently, and it is in 18 karat gold, and it's on a rubber necklace. And the necklace actually has an 18 karat gold, they call it a bayonet clasp. Sure. But it makes a very contemporary, very modern look, and can be worn.
The clasp in front here?
Yep.
The clasp is wonderful too.
It's very simple, doesn't get caught in your hair.
Yes. Right. Or trying to get your fingernail to open a little piece.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, so you're not doing that. But that is a beautiful piece of turquoise, and it really has its own character and presence against white, against skin. It goes with anything. I mean, it's turquoise. What could I say? This is also turquoise. This comes from Turquoise Mountain, and you can see it has a very light or pale blue on the edges, and then it gets deeper and deeper in the middle. The host rock is brown. It's almost a chocolate brown, and it's just a tremendous example of Turquoise Mountain turquoise. And then the back, you can see, is solid gold, and all pieces are signed and stamped with the quality of gold, which again is 18 karat.
So before you go on to your next piece, what's involved in making a piece like this?
These are, I like to say that nature has done her job, and I have very little to do to add to it because it's already so beautiful. So these are very simple. The bail it's all hand fabricated, and the bail is just a simple. How should I explain it? It doesn't have any design. You want it to disappear into the necklace, and the bezel around the stone is complete all the way up the side and holds the stone securely, but it doesn't have anything that's going to distract from the beauty of the stone. Nature did her job. I don't need to do anything else. So it's a very clean, contemporary look.
It is, and I have to say that it's really nice to see the gold combined with the turquoise.
Yes, and I feel that turquoise with silver belongs to someone else. It's not my set of materials. So 18 karat gold does look wonderful with turquoise.
It's a beautiful combination.
It is different. And as you can see, the depth of the stone and the amount of gold is significant. And
yes.
As you can see with the one you're wearing also.
Yes.
Now, after saying that about nature doing what she does best, of course, I'm going to throw a little wrench in it. This has 3 diamonds at the bottom. And this is Kingman turquoise. You can see it has a very strong blue to blue-green color. And the diamonds are 10 points, so a total of a third of a carat.
Wow.
And again, the back is solid gold, the sides, same.
Another very substantial stone.
It is a substantial stone, yes. Absolutely beautiful stone. So I do have those 3 as an introduction. I want to see how people respond to turquoise and 18 karat gold. So we're going to jump to a pretty spectacular piece. And I say that because if anyone loves opals, they probably think of Australian opals. But they do come from other parts of the world, and the next pendant actually has an Ethiopian cabochon opal on the base that hangs and dangles, and the top of the pendant has a red Mexican fire opal that has been faceted, and opals are rarely faceted, but this is something of great color, and you can see the Ethiopian opal also has tremendous flashes of color too. And that is 22 karat gold, the whole thing. And again, would look really nice on a simple black cord or someone's 18 karat necklace.
Now, the 22 karat gold, why did you decide to work with that over 18? Is it more pliable for some of the detail work
it is.
here,
This is all hand hammered.
Yes.
It is a shape which is not round or oval because the stones are perfectly oval. Yeah. So I wanted something to catch the eye, which is also what the hammering was for. But I used 22 karat because it has a color that I thought looked best with both the Ethiopian and the Mexican stones.
It's stunning.
It is. It's a beautiful piece. And at night, when the light comes from around you, you get all the flash of color and the sparkle from the facets. So that's a very beautiful piece. This is Veracite, and that comes from Arizona. It also has 2 little diamonds, and it's 18 karat gold. Veracite has a similar locale and chemical makeup of turquoise, but it's much more green. And I really like that green color. It's very
mesmerizing.
Natural. It's a very natural green color. And again, all 18 karat sides and back.
And again, very substantive stones there.
So this piece I'm going to share, this I made for myself. I had a photograph that was going to be in a show at the Huntington Gallery in just outside of Los Angeles. And there were 1,000 people at the opening. And I didn't know anybody. So I thought, what am I going to do in order to get some sort of attention? Well, I was from Arizona. The show was in California. So this is a Hessonite garnet from California. And this is Kingman turquoise from Arizona. 18 karat gold. And for fun, I made an 18 karat safety pin. And I had that on my lapel. And I'm 6'5", so I kind of stand out anyway. But my intent was to get attention from people who like jewelry because I wanted them to come over and talk to me. And it worked. I had women see this thing from a distance, and it was like they were trying to get out of their conversation to walk over and ask me about this lapel pin.
Understandably
and so it's very bold,
gosh.
But I wanted to bring it and share it today because I want people to see that there's a little whimsy to what I do also.
Could I pick that up? I just want to see what the weight is. Wow.
No, it's big, and like I said, I've got a large frame, so it disappeared on me.
But it also isn't so heavy that you'd feel bogged down by it.
No, not at all. But the stones are both large, and there is a lot of gold in that. So that was just kind of one of those one morning I went in the studio and I thought, what am I going to do? And that's what I came out with.
Well, imagine that. Just saying, what am I going to do today? And then you create this masterpiece.
That's the fun of this. Now, a lot of the materials I use, and you'll see in the next few that I show you, are out of the ordinary. They are natural. They have not been cut. They have not been polished. They are from the ground, from the bottom of a river, and have been tumbled. And this is one. These are carnelian beads, and they're all natural. They haven't been tumbled. This is just the way they're found. These are 18 karat gold beads that are strewn about. A clasp, and I always like to say you should be able to put on my clasps behind your head without your glasses, without your partner, and in the dark.
Amen to that.
And I think I've sold some necklaces because of the clasps.
Because of the clasp.
And this is simple. It is a T shape, but kind of an oblong T. It goes straight in.
Isn't that
and
remarkable?
then gravity holds it in place, and it's tight enough that it's one of those things that it holds itself.
The colors in each stone,
yes,
they're unique and they're just remarkable.
I said it's carnelian. The middle one is actually kind of a greenish color.
Yeah.
And we always think of carnelian as being that reddish, kind of rusty orange. But you can see the character in every one of the stones.
And this one almost looks rose. It's interesting. Yeah.
Yes. But that's what's nice about this is that you're not going to see two of these. No one else is going to have one because it's from nature with a little gold added, and it's stunning.
Yes.
It's stunning. I've always said you could add a little gold to anything, and it's stunning.
Well, can't argue with that.
Well, while we're on that, I'm just going to. These are materials. These are not finished necklaces by any means. And talking about things that come from riverbeds, and this is probably going to be surprising. These come from Sri Lanka. Every one of those is a sapphire.
Really?
Yeah. These are...
Wow.
You would not be cutting and polishing these and making a sapphire ring, that would, match, for a wedding ring or something. But they are... sapphire is alluvial, meaning that it is found in mountains. And if the rivers erode the alluvial area, sapphires come down because of gravity, and you will find them at the base of mountains in rivers. And that's what these are. Every one has been found in a river as is, and then they were drilled. And I think something like this, these are the smaller of the two, but something like this with some gold beads and a nice gold clasp is spectacular for the woman who wants to walk in a room and not have anyone know she has 200 carats of sapphires around her neck. It's the understated piece.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So, like I was saying with these, natural, from nature. I've done nothing with them. They have been drilled, but you add a little bit of gold and it makes them absolutely stand out.
Wow. These still my heart. They're beautiful.
These have had had intervention from man. These are labradorite, and I think that you'll be able to pick up the color change on those. This is beautiful material, and with some nice textured oval beads, this would be a really stunning necklace and a nice clasp.
Yes.
But I've been talking about things where man hasn't changed it.
Right.
This needs to be so that the color comes out when you use it as a necklace. Otherwise, you don't get that.
Magnificent.
You don't get that color. This is actually a type of opal, but the cell structure is not set up so that you get the play of light, the refraction of light. But the chemical structure is opal. And this is not a finished necklace yet. I have one design change to make. But I've created these very substantial, and I'm sure that if you roll those around in your fingers, you'll realize, substantial gold beads to complement these other beads. But again, like the clasp, this is very simple. You have the 4 little melted balls on both ends. You go in at 90 degrees, and this is it's all work hardened, so it's not going to open on you. and that's something that you can easily do behind your head. But I'm going to articulate these beads more by putting in some more small gold beads.
Ooh,
because I've found that the square beads are not allowing it to drape properly.
Oh, interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
it is beautiful as
Yes.
is, but it's going to
The
be
colors-
stunning with small gold beads.
Yeah, and they'll be tiny,
Yes,
tiny
yes,
gold beads.
Yes.
But it needs to just have a little more form to it.
Wow.
The,
and
col-
is that
the colors
a gold
there.
chain under it that you
Oh,
string the
that's
beads?
actually a very good question. When I string beads, these are both good examples. I use a 19-strand stainless steel cord that has been plated in 24 karat gold and then covered in nylon. So these are strung to last.
Yes.
Now, and there's no example of this here, but I have done strands of raw diamonds. Diamonds will cut through anything. So something like that, depending on how often someone wears it, I would happily replace that strand either when necessary, meaning they see fraying, or every 2-3 years.
Oh, interesting.
For stones like these that are not as hard on the cord as the diamonds are, these could go 5-10 years, depending on where. It'll be fine.
Wow, and that's really wonderful to know that you stand behind that.
Yes,
so if
absolutely.
any time each piece is unique, but any time that something like that would need replacing, you would do that for your customers.
Now, the next topic are earrings. And these are what are known as rosebud pearls. They're freshwater. They have little nodules on them. The color on them, the nacre, is absolutely beautiful. There's a slight peach to them, but you can also see almost a rainbow of color in some places. What I've done is I've taken a round disc of gold, and with my torch, I just randomly melt it.
Wow.
And create a very simple amorphic edge. And then I set the pearl in there. I use extra heavy ear backs. They're not thin, they don't bend, they're not small, they're
And
nice
they
and
also
strong.
have the extra
The little
circle around them, so it's
Right.
not too much weight on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
So those pearls are just beautiful. I
They
love
really are.
those.
They
Yeah.
really are. And you've captured them beautifully in your photo
Yes.
of them too.
Oh, good. I don't take responsibility for the photos. That is Tom Alexander. He has the best ability to photograph jewelry. I will have a couple of pieces that don't include materials from nature. These are some leaf earrings which I've made, and as I said earlier,
Very much in style.
I brought my ear in order to show how these hang. And if someone's so inclined, you could do two in one ear.
Yes.
But those are 18 karat gold, hand hammered.
Beautiful.
Yeah. A much more traditional metalsmithing technique than
But
the rest of it.
you know what's interesting too is they're hand hammered. But if you look at the detail, I could see it if it was flat and you just had this flat leaf. But they fold up like this and they're still hammered on the.
Yeah, they have a very
each
natural
side.
flow to them.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the texture obviously makes it look very much like a leaf that would be on a tree.
It sure does.
And then this will be tough to see, but these are. They're nothing more than little discs of gold, and then inside I have put a tiny, tiny drop of gold. And what that does, they're tiny, but you put them in your ears, you forget about them, and they visually catch the light and other people's attention. So it's not like you're naked with no earrings. It's not as though you're wearing something that's more appropriate for the night. This is something that women have told me they can wear all day long, and it looks great because it's, again, 18 karat, but it has that play of light and makes it much more substantial.
So
and
it's
very light.
It's making the environment part of your outfit because
Yes.
it's bringing it in to make it come alive. I love it.
So I'm going to share with those who are watching right now and who watch in the future some of the materials that have really excited me. Like I said, I go to the gem show every year, and within about 10 seconds, looking at something, I can tell if I have an idea that's going to be powerful enough to substantiate the piece of jewelry. And I do have one item that I have seen. I have not made it into a pendant yet. I'm going to. So if anyone sees this or anything else in the next few minutes that they like, if they leave a message, I will respond to the message if they like it. And with no obligation, would like to see it as a finished piece, I'll finish it and put it on the Himelhoch site. And I like that interaction. This is a little less than what I do with my commissions, but everybody's invited to leave questions or messages, and I'm happy to reply to them.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because absolutely. And you can either post messages on the Facebook Live video in the comment area, or you can email us at our customer contact link, and we'll be sure to follow up with Stewart on that for you.
So these have delightful color. You can see they go all over the map with kind of rust and greens and a few blues. These are Montana sapphires, also alluvial. These have been polished a bit or tumbled so that you can see the color. And as a stud earring, I have used these in the past, and they are really quite exquisite.
They sure are.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know Montana has sapphires.
I had no idea.
There was I don't know the details exactly, but the general details are correct. A group of men who were going out to California to look for gold in the 1860s or 70s, and they were going through Montana, and they found sapphires in the rivers, and they sent them back to Tiffany's and said, "Are these worth anything?" And they got a check for $2,200, which at the time was a lot of money. And so they ended up finding, and Tiffany's used for decades, solely the beautiful Hugo Gulch sapphires from Montana, and just unbelievable colors. Very difficult to get them now, but these are, I love Montana sapphires. As there's a group of people who are always on the hunt for them at the gem shows, and whenever I find them, I buy them, because I know that there's just such a rare commodity to come along. So those I would put in just stud earrings with gold, and they would be spectacular.
That's a great story.
Especially if your birthday is in September, which is coming up. Because that's the birthstone.
Steve.
But it's things like that. You know, I just get so intrigued with what nature offers us, because I never knew there were Montana sapphires 20 years ago.
I had no idea. I've never heard of them before.
Yeah. So this is, I'm building up to something big.
No.
So. This is called Penolith. And it comes from Austria, and it's a black and white stone. And this is a really nice piece that would be a great center stone for a necklace.
Sure would.
But if people go to Himelhoch and look under Earthdream Studio, I have a scarf out there, which I will get to my scarves in a minute, that actually is this black and white. And so they would look very nice with that too. So that is a design that has a little momentum in my brain. This is a petrified sand dollar. And that set in gold as a very simple pendant, maybe with a couple, 2-3 diamonds, would be quite spectacular.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and it's not as fragile as a sand dollar, which we all know cracks, but it has turned to stone, and this side has been polished.
It's so
it has all the design of the traditional.
So how would you polish something like that? Tumbling, or do you use a special?
No, that would have to be done by hand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it, but the person who did it is probably by hand or a very sensitive lap polisher. So this is very exciting. I live probably 10, 12 miles from the Navajo reservation, and I was no part of this, but in the 1980s, Arizona has some of the most beautiful petrified wood. And it does because of the colors that are found. You find petrified wood in other parts of the world, but it's black and white or cream and white. It doesn't have the brilliant colors which Arizona petrified wood does. Well, in the 80s, they found petrified wood on the Navajo reservation which has chromium in it, and it's green.
Oh my!
And it's the only green petrified wood that has ever been found. And you can see this end has been polished, and it's a gorgeous piece. And I actually bought some smaller pieces and I had someone polish them. So I'm going to make some earrings in 18 karat with this green, which if someone has green eyes or Irish background, or, you know, let's go through the whole list. This is a gorgeous natural green, and I'm going to have earrings with that online.
Oh my gosh.
With that said, allow me to tell everyone watching, if you see something, it's going to be a one of a kind. They're not.
Right.
If someone buys it, it's not going to be available again.
No.
So I'm not trying to scare anyone, but I don't want them to think that I have an inventory where I just keep replacing. Once I produce an earring like this, as I just described, and put it on your site, if it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
So
right.
that's important
right.
for people to realize. I don't want anyone to be mad at me.
No, no. But the truth is that people who gravitate toward wearing works of art,
yes,
they don't want anybody else wearing the same piece.
That's absolutely true. And they usually don't hesitate when they see something they like, because they know from buying our art that that's not a good thing. So I'm going to ask you, do you know what this material is? Actually, it would look great with what you're wearing.
It sure would.
It's black and white. It has a very, very small design texture to it. It's dinosaur bone.
No, I would never have guessed that.
It's dinosaur bone.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it has been polished, and it's absolutely exquisite. Tiny, tiny detail. And again, in gold, maybe with one diamond for an earring, or even without a diamond. Or something called a jacket. Are you familiar with those?
No.
It's, you create an earring, and then you have a small gold addition to the earring, which slides over the post. So then you put the earring on, put the back piece, and then what is known as the jacket hangs below the earring and adds another flare to it. And so you really have two pairs.
Idea. Yes. Oh.
So these could be set in gold, and then there could be a jacket that maybe is dangled pieces of gold that are hand hammered, you know, something for the evening. But those are really nice. The gentleman, I've purchased from him many times other material, who had these. I said, what are those? And he said, oh, that's part of the dinosaur bone. And I said, really? I said, they're great. He said, yeah, I have 3 or 4 pair back here. And I said, I think I might take all of those, because I might even make a necklace out of some of those.
Yes.
So
it's stunning.
It is stunning. It really is.
Gosh,
You know,
it's so beautiful, polished. Like
yeah.
You just see all of the intricacies that you wouldn't see if it weren't polished, of course. You know, all the lines, all the...
So that's exciting. Now, here's the best part. This is my favorite, and this is going to be a pendant. It's going to be 18 karat gold, maybe 22, and it's going to have a diamond or two. They're not little. But this will be something nobody will have seen, and you will be the star of the show. This is 160 million year old, comes from Patagonia in Argentina, and it's a pine cone. And that with a gold cap here with a little bit of design and then a couple of diamonds on either side will be spectacular. And that is hard.
Wow.
It's a rock.
Yes, it is.
It is a rock.
Wow.
And 160 million years old. It has all the intricate detail of the pine cone. What they presume happened is that the area probably flooded and the pine cone had fallen off the tree and it was completely encased by mud. And then the mud replaces the cells of the pine cone, and it hardens and turns into rock after 160 million years.
Wow.
But that
is just such a
I have
rare
an
piece.
idea that will protect the back so that it won't be against the skin, and then to have some sort of a cap here and just have it hang off of a nice gold necklace.
So it won't corrode in any way.
Well, it would never do that, but I don't want it to abrade the skin of the wearer.
I get it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, next. I love being in the studio. I was looking for something to do when I would leave the studio that was still creative, but I didn't always want to be in there making jewelry. And I started getting interested in photography. And photography for me has been a real, it's been organically grown. I never went out and took classes. I never wanted to become a photographer. I just had a camera and kind of saw the results and thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Wonder what happens if I do this. And it grew and grew. And the first thing from that growth was I had all these amazing slabs of rock that I just found intriguing, and they're not terribly expensive. I buy them at dusty little rock and mineral shows on the side of the road in Arizona, and I see them and they're $7 and they're this big, and the colors are unbelievable, and they're sold for lapidaries so that someone would buy it and they would cut it and polish it and then sell it like these stones. But I'm buying it because I'm intrigued by the beauty of it. So I got the idea of photographing these and then blowing them up and making women's scarves. And it worked.
I'll say.
This is a very heavy silk. They are made in the United States, printed in the United States, finished in the United States, everything. It is 22 momme, M-O-M-M-E, which is the way they judge the heaviness of the silk. I think that you've volunteered that you would try this one on.
I certainly will.
This is...
Tough job, but somebody has to do it.
This is long and narrow. It's, I believe, 20 by 50. And you can see that is grossular garnet. And I loved the different variation of color of greens. I'm a big green person, but this just had incredibly beautiful greens. While you try that on, I'm going to show...
And what a concept to take this from a stone.
The stone is this big.
Right, and then blowing it up and making it into a scarf is such a...
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Creative idea. Don't mind if I do.
And what's interesting is it's a heavy enough silk. You can't see through it like you would a chiffon.
It's very substantial.
But it's a heavy enough silk that it will keep you warm. In a cooler evening climate. Yeah.
Or even an air-conditioned environment that is blowing and you just going crazy.
Looks good with the turquoise too. The two offset each other. Okay, now this is what I was telling you. I wasn't going to offer the information until we were here with the live camera. This is Cherry Creek Jasper. It's one of my absolute favorites. I photographed it. I put a nice gold border around it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that. That is what I photographed.
Oh my gosh.
So that right there is this scarf.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
I mean, I saw this, thought it was beautiful, and then I went home and photographed it and had it blown up and printed.
It's remarkable. Just remarkable.
What you can do, you're going to take that off.
Okay.
People at home can do this with any of my scarves, square, or the ones that they have.
So instead of saying, don't do this at home, you're saying,
Do this at home. Take a scarf, put it upside down, take the two right-hand sides, tie them together, the two left-hand sides, tie them together. You're going to stand up for a minute, please. I'm going to make her disappear. No. And so you end up with a jacket.
Oh my gosh.
So you're going to put one arm
is
through
this
there.
ever?
And one arm through there.
Oh, how clever.
And then from the back, if you turn to the, there you go. And it stays on you all night long. And it's another way of wearing it.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that great?
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
So they're very versatile.
My
You can do a
gosh.
lot with
That
them.
is so clever.
And then I'm not going to force you to put this on, but this is...
Oh, you're not forcing me to do anything.
This is an infinity scarf, and this is a photo of a freshwater lake here in Michigan, and you can see all the different colors of blue in the lake, and all you do is just double it.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Gosh.
Oh, and look at
Look
turquoise.
how well it goes.
Yes, your choice
beautiful.
of gray is perfect.
That did work out well. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
You know I never want to take this off.
you may keep it on your phone. The photography went a little bit further, and
That's so beautiful.
I do have
Lakes in Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. I do have on the site a set of 12 greeting cards that are blank. They are professionally printed, and they are all sunrises or sunsets in Arizona. And they're wonderful to have on hand if you just need to send a thank you. A couple of them are good if you have a more serious note to send. They just go on. And we are so lucky with our skies that I decided I needed to put some on cards so people had them to use. And there are 12 different images. They come with the envelopes. And that is one more avenue of my photography.
And I have to say, you say that you never had any formal training in photography, but boy, do you have an eye.
Well, thank you.
And what you translate
nature
to the camera.
Mother Nature's been good to me, and she gives me a lot of really good material to work with.
Wow, you're too humble.
I am also, unfortunately, I don't have many examples here, but I have gotten into astrophotography.
Yes.
And I have beautiful moonrises and moonsets outside my house. Mm-hmm. And the astrophotography, which there are 2 examples on the site now, both were taken at Meteor Crater in northern Arizona, and both feature the Milky Way in the background. They are stunning images. I have very large versions of them on my walls. If anyone listening is curious, do go to the site, look at them, ask questions. I'll explain how it was taken, when I took it. They're great for in an office. They're great for in a family room, a hallway. They're basically the universe in front of you with Meteor Crater beneath, and they're really stunning. But the reason I'm saying that is I have a series of 6 different moon shots, separate words, that I'm going to put on the site. And each one is 8x8. It's printed on aluminum. This one shows a tree on the the ridge out in front of my house against the crescent moon, but I'm able to capture something called the earth shine, because you wouldn't normally be able to see that with your eye. But the camera allows you to collect more light than your eye can see. So I get the crescent, which we all see, and then I have a little piece of dust there. And then I've also brought in the craters of the moon with the tree in front of it. So
mesmerizing.
If anyone,
it really is.
If anybody likes the moon, which I have found through my conversations, there are a lot of us out there. Mm-hmm. The images are wonderful, and they're very intimate because they're not huge. They're small. They would go really nicely in a group of 2, 3, 4 or more. 2 over 2 or sideways, whatever. But they're exquisite for a simple gift for somebody who is a lunar fanatic.
Well, and the way you've captured it, I know when I've been out away from city lights and can stare up at the sky, and there's various phases of the moon, but it is mesmerizing, and it's amazing because in your photos, I feel mesmerized looking at them, and it creates that experience.
This looks like the moon. You can reach out and touch it.
Yes.
Because it looks so close to that tree. Yeah. Absolutely. I find them, you say mesmerizing, I find them comforting. Yeah. And they're it's almost like you've always had them in your home because people feel so closely to the moon.
I think we're naturally drawn to it.
We are naturally drawn to it.
Yeah.
It is our closest heavenly body.
Yes.
But then for these on the back, there's this very nice cleat that's already in place with the rubber pads. So you put in one nail, it goes on the wall, and it's done.
You're done.
Yep.
One and done.
One and done.
I like it.
Yes. What else do I have?
I don't know. What's in Stewart's bag of tricks?
Well, I'm going to go back to the jewelry for a minute because it is fascinating the things that one does find. Things that I never knew existed. And I know I say that over and over, but it's true. This
probably
is
what keeps it interesting for you.
It really is.
Yeah.
These are crystals. They are, again, non-gem quality, but if it was gem quality, they would be more money than anybody would want to spend. These are emeralds.
Ooh.
But they have the black inclusions, which give them great character. And if you can imagine, I would take one of these beads and imagine dipping it in like heavy cream or wax or something. So just the end had a little cap on it. I'm going to do that in 18 karat gold.
Oh my gosh.
So that throughout the necklace, I'm going to have every once in a while one of these little gold caps.
What a great idea.
And so you've got the green of the emerald.
Yes.
You have the story behind, you have 450 carats or 650, whatever that is. That's pretty substantial. And you have that, and then a really nice clasp to go with that. So that's something.
Oh my gosh.
If people like emeralds, let me know. Leave a message, and I will work on that as a possibility. Or if they don't like that and they look at it and say, those are emeralds, I also have this, which those are emeralds.
Oh my, yes.
And those are nice. They have good sparkle.
Yes, they do.
And so that would be a very dainty
bling
necklace.
like, yes.
Bling-like, dainty necklace,
Yeah.
gold beads. That you wouldn't walk in the room without people noticing.
Oh, I would say so. Really, with any of your pieces.
This is interesting because these are nearly 2,000-year-old Roman glass beads.
Oh.
And then with a nice gold clasp and gold beads that I've put in there. Very dainty, very simple. Just, I love the variation of green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is...
I said 2,000 years. It's probably 1,600 years.
Give or take. What's a few hundred years?
These are natural turquoise nuggets that have not been man-altered. They are lightly graduated from tiny to large. And that color is absolutely stunning.
It really is. It's so vibrant.
It is vibrant. It really is. And that with some very simple gold, maybe even a tiny gold pendant of some sort, would be really striking.
Oh.
But I need to figure out if people like turquoise.
So we have to, we need your feedback. Folks, do you like turquoise? I can't imagine not loving it.
And I'm gonna end with one other thing, and that is, once again, sapphires. I've shown you the Montana sapphires. I've showed you the river tumbled sapphires from Sri Lanka. I really, really like sapphires. But these are sapphire crystals with the tips taken off so they're not sharp points. And they are all individual six-sided crystals. And they, with, again, 18 karat gold, I would put small tubular beads that were parallel to these, not tubular beads going this way. Nice. And I would have them different lengths. And so that it would be against an individual's neckline, and you would see kind of almost like a skyline.
Oh.
Yeah. And I just think those are really very interesting. Natural sapphire crystals, that unlike what most people have ever seen.
I think it is. It's such a treat to see them in their natural state like this, and there's so much beauty. I'm just in awe of the vision that you have when you see raw material and turn it into these exquisite pieces.
Well, thank you for that. It's important for me to say, I understand not everybody will like the emeralds or the sapphires. Not everybody's going to like the tumbled beads that come from the river. But there are a lot of women who I have met who have self-confidence where they don't care that no one else has seen this before. They know no one else has seen it, and that's why they like it. It's one of those situations where I fully understand and respect people who enjoy the jewelry their grandmother made, or grandmother wore, their mother wore, and they are now going to wear. But I also understand the individual who wants to have something that is theirs.
Yes.
And not only physically theirs, but theirs because they know no one else has it.
Well, and believe it or not, there really are a lot of people who want unique pieces that are of the highest quality you could ever desire. So, and that's what we have here. So, Stewart, I'm really grateful to you for coming here to visit, for sharing a sample of your vision and of pieces that you've created.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's such an honor for Himelhoch to partner with you, and I look forward to a fun future together, and
Absolutely.
want to encourage anyone to ask questions. And
Feedback
follow
is
up.
wonderful.
Yeah, feedback, questions, and we have, a direct line to Stewart and his remarkable talent. So thank you, Stewart.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
great. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Goodbye, all. Thank you.